If you like our video, click the button to subscribe to our channel and get easy access to new content. To see our full suite of ad-free video courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides, visit us at www.teachucomp.com. You can manipulate a pivot table in Excel or PivotChart in Excel to change the data it displays and calculates. The tables and fields available to a selected pivot table or pivot chart in Excel appear in the Choose Fields to Add to Report list within the Pivot Table Fields or Pivot Chart Fields task panes. The tables show table icons to the left of their names. The fields within a table appear with checkboxes to the left of their names. To expand and collapse the list of fields within a table, click the arrow to the left of the table icon in this pane. To add fields to or remove fields from the quadrants below, check or uncheck the checkboxes next to the field names in the Choose Fields to Add to Report list within the Pivot Table Fields or Pivot Chart Fields task panes. Alternatively, click and drag the fields from this list and drop them into the desired quadrant. To rearrange the display of the data after adding fields to any of the four quadrants at the bottom of the task panes if needed, click and drag the fields from one quadrant to another. If you click into a worksheet cell outside of the currently selected pivot table or pivot chart area in Excel, it deselects the pivot table or pivot chart and also hides its task pane. To reactivate either one and show its task pane again, click back into a cell in the pivot table or click the pivot chart. The buttons in the Active Field button group on the Pivot Table Analyze or Pivot Chart Analyze contextual tabs in the ribbon let you change the appearance of a selected field in a pivot table or a selected data series field in a pivot chart. The name of the active field appears in the Active Field text box in this button group. To collapse and expand the detailed data for any actively selected field in an outlined group within a pivot table or pivot chart, click the Expand Field and Collapse Field buttons in the Active Field button group. To open a dialog box that lets you change the active field's settings within either a pivot table or pivot chart, click the Field Settings button in the Active Field button group. To hide or show the pivot table fields or pivot chart fields task pane in Excel when a pivot chart or pivot table is selected, click the Field List button in the Show button group on the Pivot Table Analyze or Pivot Chart Analyze contextual tabs in the ribbon, depending on the type of object selected. Remember to click the subscribe button to see more of our videos. See our full suite of courses, instruction manuals, and quick reference guides at www.teachucomp.com.